And good evening, everyone, and welcome into another edition of Let's Grow Pulling here from Richland Center, Wisconsin. I'm Ryan Zoll. Glad to be back in studio tonight. Made it back from Louisville, Kentucky, all in one piece. The 50th anniversary of the championship tractor pull at the National Farm Machinery Show. And I'd like to welcome in everyone. Jason Schultz actually had some family matters tonight, and so it will be me on the show tonight. We have a great program lined up. We are going to have Trevor Hulton with the Western New York Pro Polling Series, and then we're going to talk some Cornhusker Classic as we get set. That is the next event we will be focusing on for the indoor polling season. Still a lot of great indoor polling around the country yet. The DeKalb Super Bowl will be coming up next weekend down in Eaton, Ohio. You also have out east the Keystone Nationals as well, a few weeks away from there. And then the Cornhusker Classic, March 22nd through the 24th at the Lincoln Event Center, Lincoln, Nebraska. We'll be talking to Melissa Heider tonight, and that will wrap up the show. So again, just had a great time down at the National Farm Machinery Show. Got a chance to catch up with a lot of people, a lot of great polling, and just a great event to be a part of. So special for the 50th anniversary. So happy for our friends from across the pond, the Rocky team and Extreme Temptation. Congratulations to Rocky. They did qualify, but unfortunately had some mechanical issues and was unable to pull in the final Saturday night. But just congratulations to them on making the top three in their Pro Stock class Saturday afternoon to advance. Of course, congratulations to the Fritz brothers up here in Wisconsin representing the Badger State Tractor Pullers and 9,300-pound Super Farm. And congratulations on them. They got a second and a third throughout the weekend. It was their first ever trip to the National Farm Machinery Show Championship Tractor Pull. First time they ever applied. And I know they were really tickled to death and made an awesome pass Saturday night to get third place in a very tough Super Farm class. Also, congratulations. What a great light super stock class Saturday afternoon. Jay Fuqua and the Tennessee Tracks, congratulations to them on a big win. And I know a very emotional win. You could just tell that the crowd just came to life for that class, and two amazing passes Saturday afternoon, and what a story that was. Congratulations to Ashley Corzine and then Lisa Tatum going 1-2 in two-wheel drive trucks Saturday night. It's an amazing storyline there, and just so many memories from the past week down in Louisville, Kentucky, as always, and just a great chance to talk to a lot of great people for the upcoming outdoor polling season, and just a fun time overall. If you've never been to the National Farm Machinery Show, definitely needs to be on the list. The show alone, just walking around 1.3 million square feet of exhibition center, you definitely get to see everything there is in agriculture all under one roof. And then, of course, the championship tractor pull each night. And I have to say it was probably one of the best shows. I've been down there. The track was phenomenal, I thought, throughout the whole week. And I thought the track made it a driver's game throughout the week. And so it really helped, really even the playing field. You had to be on your A game. One little slip up, one little mistake, and because of the short track, it caught up to you very, very fast. If you were at the farm show this past week, let us know in the comments what your thoughts were, what your favorite memories were. If you have any upcoming indoor polling events that you're going to be attending to throughout the rest of the winter season, let us know. Of course, send photos and videos in as well to the page, and we'll get them posted. I know the chat boards were live all week as well. A lot of different things that come up throughout the farm show, so plenty of stuff to talk about as well. But like I mentioned, we're gonna start on the East Coast tonight. We're gonna bring in Trevor Hulton with the Western New York Pro Polling Series out there, one of the many polling organizations out on the Eastern Coast, and We'll get more information on them, what they have for the upcoming season, and
Hello.
hey Trevor, how's it going?
Oh, good. Yourself?
Welcome to the show, and thanks for spending some time tonight with us.
Yep, no problem.
So why don't you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself with the Western New York Pro Polling Series, and just kind of introduce everyone about your club.
Well, I'm Trevor Hulton. I drive a hot farm tractor, Ford 9000. We bowl with the Western New York Pro Polling Series. Just started the hot farm class this year. They've been around for 15 years, I think. I'm not quite sure. It's a really good club. They're kind of a smaller club. They don't have quite as big of classes. They had the street semis, light limited super stocks, light pro stocks, little pro farm tractors, which is like for M's and 560s and stuff like that, and then 2.6 diesel trucks, and then pro street 2.5 trucks. Really good club to get into, really good starter club if you want to make it up to the big super stocks like with NTPA and stuff. If you want to start somewhere, always a good place to start there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and those types of clubs, we have plenty of those here in Wisconsin. That's where the majority of pullers start out. That's where they get, I guess, their feet wet in the sport.
Yeah, I've been going to polls for all my life. I'm only 14, and it's pretty cool to be able to pull tractors, and I want to make it to NTPA someday, but you got to go a little bit at a time. So I started out with the hot farm tractors, bought it. This year we kind of just ran it half and half. I ran it on the farm when I got home. Pretty much what it was is it worked during the week to play on the weekends.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and like you mentioned, it's a great way to with like the hot farm classes and the smaller diesel truck classes, and it just kind of lets you kind of build up if you want to get as far your vehicle as capable, ready for a regional level or a national level. I know you have the East Empire State Pullers, and then of course the New York Tractor Puller Association out there, part of the Pro Polling League as well. So it's just a great fit for a lot of different types of pulling.
Yeah, and we go to ESP quite a bit. We didn't really go to Western New York till a couple of years ago. Before I really got into bowling with them, I helped them out when they needed some help. When they were short on techs, I used to do if they needed something from the trailer, help them out and everything. And they're a real good club to work with. I've never had any issues with them. They're a real good club.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Kind of talk about the polling season for the Western New York Pro Pollers. Like, kind of when do you guys start, and how long does your season go to?
Well, our polling season, we kind of start this year. Our schedule hasn't been stated yet, but usually we start beginning of June, and then we have the club bowl is in the end of the beginning of September, and then we go up to Canada towards the end. So it's a real long polling season. We poll with ESP at some polls, and then other polls it's just us. But our class, most clubs, the super stocks are their main, like their big class, whereas us, our street semis are our big class, which is really good to see. Our street semis they run pretty good.
No, that's great to have, a wide variety, to have your class like Hot Farm and the diesel trucks. And it seems like out east, the semis are definitely probably one of the top, if not the most popular class out, especially in the eastern part of the country. Yeah,
the semis, everybody just likes them. They're especially the street semis. They look pretty cool. One of the big diesel shops, Brothers Diesel, they had a semi. They got a Dodge Bighorn with the Cummins in it, and that runs pretty good. Then you get a couple other guys get them running pretty good. They're pretty much a hot street semi, and then you got a couple other clubs with street semis. They're a really good club, really good thing to watch.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, even here, the more I guess be like a hot street class that has really come on, and for some of the local clubs, we got a lot of kind of local semi drivers. They're still able to kind of drive them on the road, but still then come out on the weekends and have some fun.
Yeah, most of our trucks in our class came from one guy, just a lot of different drivers for him. He runs a big trucking business. He had one truck that would just pull, but the rest of them, they all went back on the trailers the day after that.
Yeah,
just
no,
like
absolutely.
my tractor, I pulled Sunday once, and then on Tuesday I was chopping bedding with it, and that's kind of what a hot farm tractor is supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to, and it's pretty cool. But this year it's going to run a little bit better. I'm not going to be able to go back to the farm with it.
So what's kind of the rules for your guys' hot farm? Is it a 466 class, or what's the rules for you guys?
466, 3LM class. You can run A and P pumps and your stock pumps sent out. No Sigma pumps. No billet stuff like no billet blocks, no billet injectors, nothing like that. No cut tires. 20.8. It's pretty much just a good starter class to get going with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially, we're trying to keep the cost down as much as possible, but obviously, as the pulling world, trying to save money, kind of is a counterintuitive in some ways.
And then our club's getting a lot of younger people in it, which is good. Like hot farm class, my parents kind of help me out by my tractor, but I work it off every day when I come home, and it's pretty cool actually to be 14 years old and pull, and they had to change the rules this year so I could pull because I'm going to pull for points. Last year I kind of just jumped in the middle of the season just to see what it was like and so I knew what I wanted to do, and so.
No, absolutely. And so what's kind of like the numbers for classes wise? What's kind of your biggest class for number wise for you guys?
I think our light limited super stock class has got to be, depends on where you are. If you got the national tour for light limited, it's about 20, 30 tractors, but with just our club, I think there's 10 or 15 that pull in the light limiteds, and then the semis, I think there's 7 or 8 of them, and then the hot farm class is about the same, and then our light pro stock class, I think there's like 20 of them in there.
Yeah, that seems to be. Is that kind of run on the national rules, or do you guys have a little bit different? Where is this the 540 class?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's 540. I'm not real sure, man. I friends with a guy in the one pro stock or in the light pro stock class, and he runs a 401, and he's right there with them. There's
Sure.
not really. I don't think they had that big a cubic inch. I'm not exactly sure what the cubic inch is on them.
No, yeah, no. I mean, every kind of club, especially on the smaller side, tries to make the rules. Sometimes that kind of fits their region more, so that those types of pullers have a place to pull too.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like I don't think Carlton Cope's light pro stock that new match they built would be able to come pull us.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's gonna be a tough runner this summer after that pass at the farm show if they can definitely hold it together.
Yeah, I saw it at Gordyville, and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that seems like
Gordyville.
the amount of horsepower I've heard it's creating, it's just unbelievable with the small cubic inches and kind of the limitations they have on everything, but definitely makes for a fun show, and it's great to see some variety out there in pulling.
And then that sound it makes when it blows in that smoke tube with that V8. Never forget at Gordyville when the announcer's like, when he pulled it out on the track when they backed him in, he's like, "Now this tractor's gonna make a real mean sound," and it sounded really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially for anyone that has never heard pulling indoors, it really gives the vehicles that extra grunt too. It just really sounds that much meaner, and it's just a amazing part of the indoor aspect, even though we don't get to see the smoke.
Yeah, I'd like the indoors. I'd like to pull there, but I don't know if I'd really want to pull at them shorter tracks. I'd kind of like to pull at Cloverdale, because the problem is if you set your tractor up for that 320 foot out there, and then you're stopping at 250, it just kind of screws your setup up.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to. I would say this. I don't know if you were, were you watching on the live stream for the farm show, or did you make it down to Louisville?
No, I had kind of watched it a little bit on the live stream, but I didn't really sit down and watch it.
Yeah, no, it was Louisville this year. It was a driver's game, in my opinion, and that really kind of leveled the playing field. If maybe you didn't have the most horsepower, but if you were able to put it down on the track, you were going to lay down a pretty good pass. Which is what really is, which I like to see that. I like to see them tracks where you got to know how to drive to be able to win. You don't have to have the most money to put into your tractor to make the most horsepower. You just got to know how to drive. Yeah, no, absolutely. And those that have pulled in Freedom Hall and have experienced the farm show before obviously definitely had the leg up on a lot of the rookies, and there was a lot of first-timers, and there was even some first-timers that did very well, and that's sometimes it's the luck of, kind of the luck of how it all falls down and what the way the track is at the time they're pulling, and but it definitely I think it definitely levels the playing field a lot compared to some of the outdoor tracks. And then I really think some of them drivers, for their first time pulling indoors, really screws them up if they're used to looking at the smoke, like when to go. Like, I think that's got to be hard. If you're ready, like if you usually look at the smoke to know when to go, and you're pulling indoors now, you kind of, really, it's got to hurt you a little bit there. Yeah, no, absolutely. I had a friend pulling down there for the first time, or actually knew quite a few people that was first time pulling there, and they definitely, they were nervous about that. They definitely had to kind of change their game plan and focus more on the as much as possible the RPMs coming off the hole. And I should mention here, Kyle Corrin has a shout out to you, so says doing a good job. Oh yeah. Good old buddy Kyle. No, absolutely. And if you're just tuning in, this is Trevor Hulton. He's a hot farm puller with the Western New York Pro Polling Series. How many events do you guys have typically, on average each year does the series normally get? Lately we've been getting a little bit more at a time. Last year I think we had to have, I'd say at least 15, 20 polls probably. And then a lot of guys this year, I sit at the ESP meetings because I'm good friends with the sled, and I think the promoters like to see the hot farm tractors, because the hot farm tractors I think look pretty cool and they run good. Like if they run good and they can lay down quite a good pass, it's better to see them tractors that look like a farm tractor to be able to put it out there, whereas like them super stocks do. Like obviously it's not the same, type of deal, but it still looks pretty cool. Yeah, no, our hot farm class here, they're the top ones. They're anywhere between 1,200-1,500 horsepower, and most of them are in that range, and put on a great show as all our classes do here on the Badger State Circuit. We have anywhere from 15 to 20 on average each night, and they have about 20 plus hooks throughout the summer, and it's one of the toughest classes and to pull in here on the Badger State Circuit, because pretty much anyone can win any night, and that's what makes it great for the fans. It's just like the Super Farm class at ESP. Almost I'd rather go watch that Super Farm class than the Super Stocks. Super Stocks are cool, but the Super Farms, they're all so close. On any given night, our Super Farm tractors, the guy that was in last night can be in first tonight. Yeah, nope, absolutely. And every class is, what we've seen at the farm show, just like we've been talking about. A lot of first-time winners there as well. We seen with the two-wheel drive trucks with Ashley Corzine taking home the championship in two-wheel drive trucks and laying down a very solid pass on what was a tough sled setting for the two-wheel drive trucks, and he definitely had to. It was all about the whole shot all weekend, and if you didn't get the whole shot right, especially on a short track, that's gonna take off a lot of distance on the other end.
Yeah, that's pretty vital. Henry Everman pulls with ESP, and I've talked to him about pulling indoors. He says that whole shot is the most important part of your run, pretty much.
Yeah,
he said if you can't get it out of the hole just right, he said if you don't come out of the hole right, you're not going to even come close down at the other end.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of great pullers that come out of the state of New York. What's kind of people you kind of look up to in the sport of pulling?
It really depends. Like, I like to go watch, like, Henry and all them on ESP, and I'm friends with a lot of them. I'm pretty good friends with Fishers. They pull a super farm. But I really kind of look up to the person that's never guided me wrong. I really look up to Pete Kingston, actually. He's helped me out a lot. He's let me drive his tractor, just get a feel for it. He's really great to be there with. I kind of look up to him. He's helping me with my tractor right now. And
yeah, no, I mean that's what we've had. We had a guy down in Texas on the phone a couple weeks ago, talking about getting into the sport of pulling, kind of just like you. He's got a two-wheel drive truck, and the Nelsons down in Texas have been a vital help to him, and that's what it takes. And we heard it all weekend long down in Louisville. Those that made the finals, but maybe had hurt something on the run, especially in the mod class with Stan Shelton. They had some rear end issues, but they had all the competitors came up to them asking if they need any help to get the vehicle ready for Saturday night and take the vehicle out to a local shop to work on, and that's just really what the sport is all about. And of course, everyone's gunning for each other on the track.
Yeah, which is really, that's what I really like about pulling. Like, I notice when there's a problem, there's as many people that there can be. If anybody's standing over there and they see you have a problem, they come right over there and ask, you need any help with this or that? And then, like, when they line the classes up, like outdoors at some of the ESP pulls, I'll see them, like, they'll be pulling the mod class and they'll line the heavy super stock class up. And all the heavy super stock drivers will go down there and converse and everything, which is really, like, what I like about pulling. A lot of the pullers get along. Don't get me wrong, there's some rivalries in pulling, and then you got them guys that'll be right there if they just got off the track and you're going, they'll be right there to help you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's just a great time. It's like one big family, and it doesn't matter what level of pulling, from garden tractors all the way up to unlimited modifieds. Everyone is kind of there to make sure that you at least get on the track and can be part of the show, and that's what it's all about.
And then I really like when if you're driving and you don't have any help, they'll come over there and help you wait in and stuff. And if you need to be backed up, you back up and everything. That's really great when you can go to your competitor, person you're pulling against, trying to beat in points, and say, can you help me with this or that? And they come right over there and help you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So just kind of looking at the upcoming events for Western New York on the Facebook page, looks like March 23rd, you guys have your general meeting. Is that kind of for anyone that's interested about the club, and then kind of goes over the upcoming season and any rule changes?
Yeah, there won't be much rule changes made, but yeah, it's pretty much, that's when registrations are due, I think, and stuff, and I go to them, they're pretty, just you go over what happened at the board meeting and stuff, and you discuss, like, they'll tell you if registrations are due, if this or that. We only really do them during the off season. We don't do them during the summer, obviously, when we're pulling, but, like, and then sometimes, like, before the banquet, they'll say, your banquet registration's due now or something.
You know, absolutely everyone. Most clubs we have our spring meeting coming up in March as well for Badger State tractor pullers, and just like all most clubs, we'll be releasing our schedule here in a little while once we get all our contracts. Is most of the polls that you guys are with are they more like county fairs, or are they kind of individual events, or kind of a mix?
We don't really do too many county fairs. We do a couple, but not too many. Like, we do a lot of fire departments and people that, like, tractor pullers that want to put on a show, like Scott Christ and Lloyd Christ over in Holly. They put on a pull, and they pull tractors, and that's pretty. You got some of them, and then you got other ones. You got fire departments, and then you got a couple fairs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
no.
then you got Langford. Langford is a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, no, that looks like for Western New York, it's been a long time since they've had a poll of that magnitude in that part of the state, and it looks like it should be a great show for that event.
Yeah, Langford. I didn't go this year to NTPA. I'm at fair when that goes on. That's the last weekend of fair, the first weekend, and I didn't go, and I was kind of sad that I didn't. But problem is you know, you got to think of the positives. But I guess they're doing a 2-day show now.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know that's kind of a big festival for that area as well.
Oh yeah, that's kind of the Bowling Green in New York, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just think of the pullers that come out of the state. You know, you got Joe Heider out there, who's going to be running unlimited modifieds, a longtime puller, and won multiple national championships. Jason Hootman with his light super, who has done phenomenal with the Commander Ford, and the Evermans as well, more on the state and regional, but also plays with the national guys from time to time as well. I know they make the trip all the way out to Tomah, Wisconsin, and so we really appreciate a lot of those guys taking some long trips to a lot of the more Midwestern part of the country.
Which is pretty cool because you get them, and then you get some of them tractors that are top dogs around here, like that are smoking us by 20 feet, and then they go out there out with the NTPA super stacks, and they kind of get put in their place. It's really interesting to see where they stack up when they go out with NTPA.
You know, I think that's what a lot of those people that kind of pick and choose which events. You know, they like to stack up and see, you know, where they are against those that are in the top of their whatever class they are in. I think, you know, especially diesel trucks. I had a friend that pulled diesel trucks for many years, and when he went down the Shy, that's a big measuring stick, is, you know, going to those types of events and seeing where your program is at.
And then it's like you get us. The problem is the sled that ESP hooks to the most and Western New York hooks to the most is totally different from like Loves or anybody's like that.
Yeah, no, that could be a big factor. You know, pulling on different types of dirt than you're used to as well. Especially if you have a new event that you've never been to. Even with the national guys, if a new event gets picked up and have never pulled there before, it always becomes, the little things become big factors when.
Yeah, like Langford, I didn't know how light the NTPA light super stacked up, and I'm sure it was a little different for them pulling on Langford clay.
Yeah, no, and then pulling in the afternoon, it's not a lot of times to on the national circuit are you pulling in the afternoon, but so that probably played a big factor as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see what these guys will do out there, actually, because you see, like, our sled that we hook to is really different. Like, most sleds, you know how they have to put weight in and out of the box?
Yep.
Our sled that we hook to, been around for years, and they've done this way all the time. Whether you're pulling antiques or semis, the box is the same, weighs the same the whole time. The sled operator shifts gears in between the rails. So he's got transmissions in there.
Okay.
it starts a little bit harder, but at the other end, it's a lot easier on you than like the love sleds are. I've hooked to the love sleds, and I don't like hooking the love sleds. They start easier, but when you get to the other end, they hit you.
Yes, yes, they do, absolutely. Trevor, before we let you go tonight, you want to thank anybody, or if you have like any kind of a sponsorship or kind of who helps you with the tractor, do a little shout out before we let you go.
Yeah, I'd really like to thank my parents. They've helped me out a lot with that, having a truck and trailer to help me tow it around, and then Pete Kingston helping me out, giving me any tips, Andy Shearing, and then of course, Kyle Korn and R.J. Dennison always being there for giving a good laugh and some. I don't know what kind of advice exactly it is.
Well, you always have need a couple of those type of crew members, so.
Oh yeah.
But we wish you the best of luck for the upcoming outdoor season, and thanks for taking some time and kind of going over the with the Western New York Pro Polling series. And so if anyone's in Western New York, definitely check out any of the upcoming events. Follow them on their Facebook page and then their website as well for the Western New York Pro Polling series.
Okay.
Well, have a great night, Trevor.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
And that was Trevor Hulton, Hot Farm Poller with the Western New York Pro Polling series coming on, and a great local organization in Western New York. A lot of great beginning classes like we talked about. They have light limited super stocks, the Hot Farm 260 diesel trucks, local stock semi-class as well. So we're going to bring on Melissa now, who I just got word just got home from basketball as well, as it is nearing playoff basketball, and we're going to talk some Cornhusker Classic. So we'll get her on the phone here. Switch that up. Definitely an indoor poll to put on the calendar if you've not been to Lincoln, Nebraska, March 22nd through the 24th, and great. It's, I believe, one of the last indoor events, if not the last indoor event for the outdoor polling season.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Melissa, how's it going?
It's going great.
Sounds like you had a busy night. How'd the basketball game go?
We had 4 games yesterday. We had 1 game tonight. Tonight they won 51-13, so it was a good night.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it, and it's hard to believe we're already middle February. Next thing we know, it'll be Cornhusker Classic time.
It's been Cornhusker Classic time for a while on my end.
Well, yes, for you it's been nonstop probably since the last Cornhusker Classic. So.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
But it just seems like Louisville, it seems like that kind of takes forever to come around, and when it does, it's gone before we know it, and next thing we know, it's the end of March.
Yes, and I'm ready.
Yes, I'm sure you've been ready for the last 6 months. So
my lists tell me I'm not ready, but I'm ready.
Yeah. So a lot of new and exciting things. I know we got to talk to Dale a few weeks ago, just to kind of set the stage, and but I'm sure since then we've even got more updates to pass along to everyone.
Absolutely. We've got, like we said before, we're doing live stream rebroadcast this year. We've added some Champion Seed Western Series classes to the mix. We added the pit building last year. That's obviously staying for this year. We've added a new session. All kinds of things changing.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I'm I know this is a little bit different company than that did Gordyville, so that'll be exciting to see kind of how they kind of do their live stream and get their take on things. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of, obviously the different camera angles and stuff like that. That's kind of universal. We will have our own dedicated announcer that will be calling and announcing the actual live stream itself. So that'll be something a little different. We're going to do some footage on Thursday. for those that aren't able to attend, and so they can kind of
Sure.
see what the pit building looks like and stuff like that. Get some interviews with drivers and things like that to air, kind of like commercial time, I guess you would say.
Yeah, and I think what that with the NATPA poll, that kind of is a great kind of a launch pad, just to kind of it's their own little test and tune to kind of test the equipment out and kind of test the stream out as well.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Yeah, so
we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we're showing the picture from the website that you have on of the building. So this is the pole arena right here for everyone that's watching, and then this is where they park the new addition onto the building where they're able to park the tractor. So it worked out really well last year.
Yeah, and I just happened to be sitting here working on it this weekend and came across that SD card, and I was like, oh, I probably ought to post those.
Yeah, I seen your post the other day about that. So no, that's a good thing to find that this time of year, and have a lot of great photos to kind of lead up to the event.
Yes.
So kind of talk about let's see, let's kind of go over. So we got the NATPA Thursday morning. Is that correct?
Yes, that's going to be the National Antique Tractor Pullers. They'll be there on Thursday morning. They start at 9. 2 sleds, Division 1, 2, actually 1 through 5 plus top cuts. And then we have a couple winner take all $500 jackpot classes on that day. It'll be the hot foot sleds. I mainly on that day prepare for Friday and Saturday and do payout for the antiques, but I'm mainly working on the Friday, Saturday, getting everything ready to go. All that good fun stuff, because we'll start bringing vehicles in the building Thursday night. Working on all those times now, and getting the pit parking map all figured out where everybody's going, and we've still got like 10 days left of registration. So
yeah, I was gonna say we got to be probably near that registration deadline, and numbers so far, I would imagine, are they about same? Or are you up on numbers this year?
We're up on new people
Okay.
that have never been there before. We've got a lot of names that have not been there before, and then we've got the the ones that have been there every year and supported it from the very beginning. Looking back over years, the week of Louisville, it basically dies. my mailman really appreciates me that week. And what's funny is my mailman's daughter plays basketball with my daughter. So he told me this week, and he says, he's like, keep putting all this mail in your mailbox for this Husker something or other. He says, I'm not going to lie. He says, I went to the internet and stalked you.
Well, I guess
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe that's one way to get someone new to the event, I guess. So
yes. I was like, that's lovely.
yeah.
But no, so the week of Louisville, things kind of die down a little bit. We have some competitors in Lincoln that hook at Louisville. So, those guys wait, make sure everything's healthy before they send in their paperwork, which I completely understand. So this week will be busy.
Yeah, no,
very busy.
Absolutely. And no, that's great to hear that you have a lot of first-time competitors coming, and that just goes to show you, I think, the word of mouth of just how great this poll has become. Is this the 7th or 8th year for the?
This will be year 7.
Year 7, yep.
This will be year 7.
Yeah, so it's
every year it seems like we change something, add something. So we're obviously going in the right direction.
Yeah, no. And then so speaking of Friday afternoon, what's so that's going to be the class order for Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon, we've got the first heat of the 85 Limited Pros, and then the 82 Superfield Tractor class, which in the past with the Nebraska Bush was like the 3,000 RPM hot farm class. They've changed the name to that class to kind of mirror the names across the nation. So it's now the 82 Superfield tractors.
Okay.
So after that, we'll have our drivers, meet and greet where the public can come in and meet the drivers, look at the tractors, look at the equipment before the next session. The one thing about Friday afternoon session, I don't know, those that are on Facebook need to go like the page, like the post, and then share it, because I put a chance to win 2 Friday afternoon tickets out there today.
Yeah, so definitely go and check them out on Facebook, and I just seen that too earlier this afternoon and shared it out.
And the goal is, every week for the next few weeks, like this week will be Friday afternoon, next week will be Friday night. We're going to try to give away a pair of tickets for every session over the next 4 weeks. So, and then after that, there might be one more little secret coming, but we'll see.
It's always good to have a little bit of surprises as the event gets a little closer and just kind of get traffic to the Facebook page. And I mean, I know last year, just Saturday night alone, that was amazing to see. People just kept on coming through the doors.
I was not going to argue. You're always nervous until that last session, is this going to work, and when you see that happen, you feel pretty good.
No, I mean, I think the lineup is great. You have those afternoon sessions, which I think just doing the two classes is just kind of a nice way for people to kind of get a little taste for the evening sessions, which have such a great lineup.
Well, and doing that, we've discounted the afternoon session tickets, obviously, because there's only 2 classes. But then it still gives the people time to go in and actually meet the drivers and socialize and get a better feel of what's going on.
Yeah, no, and with the addition of the 2 Western Series classes and bringing in some new vehicles, that's going to bring in some new fans as well. Correct.
Yep. I know the 2-wheel drive classes, we've had quite a little bit, because that's not something they get to see out there very often. You know?
And it's actually, I think, on the Western Series, that class has really exploded over the last 2 summers, so that's great to see.
Yeah, and this year we did an invitational thing. We're taking the top 8 points people with the Western Series, and they'll be there that Saturday night, just as a trial. It's the first time it's an indoor track. You just don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so how many on the Invitational? Is it like a 10 or 12 truck?
There'll be 8.
8 truck, okay.
8 this year, yep.
Yep, and I know, with the way the ventilation works in the building, the alcohol motors kind of tend to, you got to kind of watch that a little bit closer at the Cornhusker Classic.
As we learned.
Yeah, yes. It's, when you have the modified tractors there, you've definitely learned that. And, of course, I think it's great to have it at the end of March because, most of the time, it's pretty decent weather.
You better be knocking on wood.
Yeah, hopefully no Gordyville type weather in the March.
Oh, well, knock on wood. So far, year 1, when people walking around sunburned.
Yeah.
After that, we've had some cold. I mean, we've had some wind.
Yep.
But we've never really had
Sub-zero.
that white stuff.
Yes. But so no, I think it's definitely one that people should put on their calendars. If not this year, definitely down the road. It's just only going to continue to grow. The facility is great. Especially with that addition. I guess I came at the right time where last year, the first year with the parking indoors and getting a chance to stay. Because I think it was rainy that weekend last year, so that worked out perfect, actually.
Yeah, and actually, last year being our first time in that building, by the time we got everybody in there for the weekend, I think we had 2 parking spots left in the entire building. So year 1, we filled it.
Yeah, no, so that's a great feeling right there.
We're already looking, going, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
So, but they're working up there. They're talking about building a Coliseum. And we've already got our name on the hat for that for future dates. I mean, it's going to be a couple years down the road, but we're, trying to accommodate as much as we can. When it gets done, it'll be tied into the buildings like they are tied now. So it would still all be indoor, just a different flow again.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you'll just have to kind of rework how you move the vehicles in and out between the wherever they decide, if they do decide to build that Coliseum, and then to what you're using now. But I think it's it's a great facility overall for an indoor pulling. A nice length. Obviously still a short track, but it definitely works for a great indoor pull.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, last year we had, was it Hogs in the Sand at like almost 260 or something like that?
Yeah, I think they were the farthest, at least on Saturday when I was there.
Yeah,
so,
I was in the office. I just remember hearing it through the wall. And then I peeked out the window and, sand pile.
Yeah, I think he was pretty much on top of the whole sand pile. if I remember
Okay.
correctly. So it was probably one of the prettier passes of the weekend, but still.
Yeah, that unlimited class last year was a good class.
Yes.
I mean, it had a lot of top contenders in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you've drawn vehicles from quite a few distances as well. I know we've had quite a few vehicles from Wisconsin in various years make the trip down. So it's great to see it's reaching out to a wide area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we've got a couple new Wisconsin ones this year coming down. So.
Are they in the 4-1 class or?
Might be.
Might be.
Might be. Might be. Everybody's like, are you going to post that list? I'm like, oh, what is, after registration's closed, I'll post that list. It's kind of all about the surprise.
Yes. I mean, it's you do a great job of building up the event. I think it leads to the crowds that you guys have had the last couple of years.
We're just trying,
Yeah.
honestly, without the pullers, without the spectators, without the sponsors, without, you doing what you're doing, Jason doing what he does, our announcers and everybody that helps us, our little village, this would not happen.
No, absolutely. It's a big team effort, and you would probably take a lot of the brunt of it though. So.
Well, maybe.
You can give yourself a little credit. It's okay.
Oh yeah, I actually just looked and it was 270 at the top of the sand pile.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good because I think if they have it set where like this either the weight bar or the front tires, they're in that 250 range, and that's a good indoor
and
track.
That is all Brandon Bungart right there.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
and are you gonna have the video boards there this year or?
Yep. We'll have the video boards, adding some TVs. One of we added the TV last year in the lunchroom area where people could go eat and sit down and still not miss the bowl. Had one in the beer garden last year. This year, there will be one in the pit building for when we close that pit area off to the general public, when we start moving equipment in and out of the buildings. When we close that off like we did last year, that way the pullers that are still back there waiting to pull, they can still be watching. They're not stuck back there by themselves wondering what's going on. They can still see it. So we'll be adding those back there. That'll be done by Heartland Display again this year.
Okay, yeah, no, great. I know they worked out really well last year. It was great seeing the TVs and those eating areas, so it kind of gives you a chance if just to get up and stretch and you still be able to enjoy the show. And the food there, it's not like your typical like concession stand food, I have to say either. It's definitely a lot better than most arena foods.
Yeah, they have a pretty good variety. That was one of our learning. You weren't there in the beginning, but we learned a lot about concession stand lines and foods in the beginning. You just happened to be at a good year, so that's gotten a lot better.
Okay, well, I guess I hit it just right.
The first year, I think the event center itself was a little overwhelmed. I don't think they knew exactly what to expect. They learned real quick. So.
Yeah, I mean, because the building itself isn't very old either, correct?
No, it's not. And actually, Dale started with the antique group, and they were the very first event in that building.
Oh, okay.
So we've been there the entire time. So, and I'll I'll give the event center a pat on the back. They've come a long way. They've got a cleaning crew that's there constantly. I mean, they're constantly there cleaning something, whether it's sweeping the floor or wiping down a table. They're cleaning constantly. Somebody is always there.
Yeah, it's probably the only pull you'll probably go to where you'll see someone sweeping along the track. So. Like where you walk to the bleachers, so.
And they do.
It's great. It's because it's a horse arena first and foremost, and then so the sides would get a little sandy. So.
Yeah, and actually the Sunday before us, there'll be like a lawn and leisure show in there, I believe, this year.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about the elephant.
Year, no elephant this year. So they'll actually be carpet down on everything when they get in there on Monday morning.
Oh, wow. That will be...
Yeah, so they'll be, the event center will be in there getting carpet put away while Bungarts are in there putting together the smoke machine and stuff like that. So, you never know.
Yes, you never know. Yes, it did make for a great Facebook post, though.
Oh,
last
it
year.
did.
Yeah.
It did. Our little elephant. You know how people were back there? That elephant sat in back there all weekend.
Yeah, that poor thing was probably like, oh my God.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but no, we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll just kind of, so, HuskerPolePromotions.com has all the information. I'm sure lodging is filling up fast, if not,
Yeah, it is filling up very fast. If you have not booked it, you probably need to get it booked.
Yeah, and you have some great discounts for those that are attending. You have those listed right on the website as well.
Yes.
And very reasonable per night as as part of the poll. So that's kind of a great deal as well for those coming and attending.
We've got the lodgings on there. All of the forms are on there. If somebody's still needing to get a registration packet turned in, they can print that right from the website, buy tickets from the website, and then, the Facebook page. We've got the giveaways going on right now and things like that.
Yeah, definitely follow along the Facebook page because you really never know what you'll be posting, for either contests or just some more surprise information about the event.
I don't ever know what I'm going to be posting either. Or where I'll be at when I'm posting it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's it's just a overall great event, and I think it really really helps showcase more of polling in kind of the central, or I guess western part, Midwest part of the country that a lot of people don't get to see very often.
Right.
And I hope, like with the live stream, those numbers will reflect that as well for those that can't make the trip out to Lincoln.
Right now, I've got people from 9 different states registered. I just looked.
No, that's great. Because let's see, how many different classes do you have offered?
11
different. Yeah.
Yes. So I've got Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Wisconsin.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's a great swap of polling and the classes. You definitely get a nice variety of classes between tractors, trucks, and the noise boys. So.
Yes.
Let's see. Anything else you want to add tonight, Melissa, before we let you go?
Probably not tonight. We'll reveal a little more next week.
Yeah.
No,
we just kind of want to slowly
games,
build the event up. So.
Yeah, and I'm done with Monday night ball games, so we should be good for a little while.
Yes. Yeah. I would imagine you guys will probably be starting basketball tournament here shortly too, or.
Do what? I'm sorry.
I would imagine high school basketball for the state or like the tournament time will probably be starting up soon too for you guys, or.
Well, they will be around here, yes, but my oldest is still 14, so
okay, so just shy of high school yet.
Yeah, we've got 3 that play on competition basketball teams though, so between those 3, they keep us rather busy.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and so we're going to be having Melissa on every Monday as leading up to Cornhusker Classic. Let's see, we are probably 5 weeks away, 6 weeks.
5 weeks yesterday.
Yes, yeah.
When I counted, I think.
Yes.
And my partner in crime's on vacation right now, so he doesn't even know that I'm on here.
Oh. Well, he did a great job last time, and I wanted, it was kind of a short notice anyway, and so he did great, and
yeah, he's in a warm, sunny place right now.
Yeah, I would hope for vacation wise, he's more sunny and warmer. We're dealing with an ice storm right now here in Wisconsin.
We have thunderstorm going on right now, like thunder and lightning and lights flickering, and
yeah, that's probably heading this way, and we're gonna get ice out of it. So
yeah, they're calling for ice up in the city tonight, north of the city. So I'll just stay down here south where it's just rain.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, and I shout out to Amy. Hopefully she starts feeling better. So.
Yeah, she'll be good.
Yeah.
I may see her this weekend too. You never know.
We need to. Well, I guess she'll be hobbling around if she's not better by then. So.
I'm sure between the two of us, we can get her fixed up.
Yeah. Yes. We'll prop her up. So. Hopefully she's listening tonight. So. But no, thanks for making some time tonight, Melissa, and we look forward to talking with you next Monday.
Sounds good. Anytime, Ryan.
Have a great rest of your night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Melissa Heider with the Cornhusker Classic out in Lincoln, Nebraska, coming up March 22nd through the 24th. You got antique polling starting Thursday morning with the National Antique Tractor Pullers Association, and then 2 great classes Friday afternoon, and then a great lineup Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday night. 4 great sessions. HuskerPollPromotions.com, where you can get all your event details. Just quickly run down pricing. So $60 for all weekend, and that includes, so Thursday is a free session, polling with the NATPA, and then Friday and Saturday, so you get 4 great sessions, $60. $20 for the night sessions, or you can do $30 for all day Friday, $15 for just the noon session, and the same for Saturday as well. $15 for the noon, $20 for the night session, or $30 for all day tickets, and those can be purchased online, HuskerPollPromotions.com. And as mentioned in the top of the hour, a lot of great indoor polling still yet to come across the country. The DeKalb Super Pole in Eaton, Ohio, the Keystone Nationals, as our mini rod superfan Chuck Hobbs had mentioned. That is, I believe, a week or two, the weekend before Cornhusker Classic. So I've great poll out in Pennsylvania at the East Coast Pollers help put on there, and I believe Chuck is going out to poll in that event in the mini rod class. So again, just want to thank everyone I got a chance to talk to at the National Farm Machinery Show. Had a great time down there, and then of course looking forward to Cornhusker Classic to round out just a great indoor polling season for me. Got a chance kicked off at Gordyville in the frigid temperatures, and then a couple weeks later Cloverdale, Indiana with the Winter Nationals, the NTPA Winter Nationals, the Farm Show, 50th anniversary poll this past weekend, and then the Cornhusker Classic wraps it up for me, the indoor polling season, and set kind of a little pause. We'll have our first 4 Seasons of Fun event here in Richland Center, May 12th, with Motorsports Mayhem, kind of our test and tune tractor pull. We have a demolition derby, ATV, grass drags, and motorcycles as well. And so that kind of kicks off the outdoor polling season here in southern Wisconsin. So I want to thank Trevor Hulton from the Western New York Pro Polling Series, Melissa Heider from the Cornhusker Classic Indoor Tractor Pull for coming on tonight, being our guests. Jason Schultz and I will hopefully be back together in one studio next week. We want to thank all of you guys for tuning in each and every week and helping make this show. It's a fun time, and continue to send in any photos or let us know about events coming up near you. We'll definitely be glad to post them on the page as well. So have a great rest of your Monday night. And again, for Jason Schultz, I'm Ryan Zolik. This has been Let's Grow Pulling. We will see you next Monday night.